Hi, I'm Sinduja, Technical Lead. I'm a verification trainer having 5 plus years of experience in front-end vlsi verification. In this series of videos from Maven Silicon, we would be guiding you on the most frequently asked interview questions in System Verilog and share some tips, tricks, and approaches to the solution. Here we go for the first question. Write a constraint to generate the size of a two-dimensional array with the following condition. And the condition says the first dimension size should be within the range of 10 to 15 and the second dimension size should be within the range of 3 to 6. Constraints are very important and essential part of System Verilog language, so we can expect more questions on constraints during the interviews. Alright, now let's see how to approach the solution. So here are 3 important points that are to be taken care before we start approaching to the solution. First, declaration of an array, which means the syntax. So before we start writing constraints, we need to make sure the array is declared with proper syntax. Say the rand or ranc modifiers are declared. Second point, writing the constraints. While writing the constraints, we need to make sure the conditions are not conflicting with each other and we have covered all the required conditions. And the third point, finally, we need to call the built-in randomize method so that constraint solver will execute the constraints. Here is the solution for the given constraint question. We have declared a two-dimensional array indicated by a 2 empty square brackets and a rand modifier, followed by the constraints. The first dimension is accessed directly by writing dynamic array.size within the range 10 to 15, and the second dimension of the array is accessed using a for each loop and the size is 3 down to 6. Finally, we have called the randomize method with a class handle t1 so that we generate the size randomly as per the requirements. So this is the solution for the given constraint question. Let's see some common mistakes that we generally tend to do while attempting these type of questions. First, declaration. While declaring an array, we might forget to use sometimes ranc modifiers, or we might wrongly declare the data type, or sometimes we might use some wrong dimensions during the declaration of an array. Second point, while writing constraints, we might provide irrelevant constraint identifiers, or we might sometimes forget to use a for each loop while accessing an array. Third point, before randomizing the array, we need to make sure that the class instance is being created. Without class instance, we cannot call the randomize method using the class handle. These are few common mistakes that we do generally. Now, here are some tips on how to handle similar type of questions during your interviews. Usage of rand and ranc modifiers. It is mandatory to take care rand and ranc modifiers are declared. Point number 2 is it is very important to access an array with the help of a for each loop. Point number 3, if required, we can use array method. We can use either built-in array methods or sometimes based on the requirement, we can use user-defined methods to constrain the required values. And the fourth point, understanding the appropriate logic. Let's say an example, if we get a question like, we wanted to generate 10 Fibonacci series using System Verilog, and if we don't know the logic of Fibonacci series, then it is very tough to write a constraint. So understanding the logic and then proceeding is very important. Alright, the next video will be on polymorphism and its applications. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video with another question.